Good evening. I am Reed Webster, the Chief Advancement Officer for the College of Biological Sciences. It's great to be here, and welcome to our annual Recognition and Appreciation Dinner. It is so wonderful to see you this fall. And also thank you to our wonderful musical duo, University of Minnesota students Nathan Clayers and Connor Solsrud. Please give them a round of applause. And also a hearty thank you to tonight's sponsors. We have with us as sponsors Be the Match, PepsiCo, ACR Homes, Takeda, Lifecore, and Biotechny. We are so grateful for your generous support for this event to honor our wonderful students, alumni, and donors. Let's give them a round of applause as well. And so this is my favorite event of the year, but this year we're doing something just a little bit different, and we've invited a CBS alum, Tim Tripp, to serve as our Master of Ceremonies. Tim earned 3 degrees at the University of Minnesota. He received his undergraduate degree in microbiology, a graduate degree in molecular biology, and he also earned an MBA from the Carlson School. And so Tim has been engaged in all sorts of ways, and he remains engaged in all sorts of ways in the University of Minnesota and CBS, and he's a huge supporter of CBS, and he's also currently a member of our CBS Industry Advisory Working Group. So with that, I would like to invite Tim Tripp to the stage. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you very much, Reed. Thank you very much, Reed. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I don't know about you all, but it's great to be in a room with so many biologists. The conversation at our table has just been delightful. I hope that you're having the same thing. So thank you, Reed. As Reed mentioned, I'm a 3-time graduate of the U, and I'm proud to say that attending the U has now become a family tradition. Our 3 daughters also chose the University of Minnesota for their undergraduate degrees. Not only for the in-state tuition, which is a big deal, but for the diversity of people and the diversity in paths that they could choose here at the university. One chose CLA, one chose CSE, and finally, one chose CBS. But there are no favorites here, right, Kelly? Right? My wife and their mother is in the audience here tonight with me. How am I doing so far, Cal? Okay? Okay, all right. Thumbs up, so thank you. All right, so to kick things off, I thought this would be a golden opportunity to ask a question of one of the most beloved mascot out there, Goldie Gopher. Goldie, can you join me up here, please? Woo, Goldie! Goldie, good to see you tonight. Thanks for coming out. So I'm sure you know the University of Minnesota inside and out. You know when to spin your head, you know when to do push-ups, all these things. But I think what we'd all like to know is which college at the University of Minnesota is your favorite? Which one is that? Let's ask you, Goldie. What do you think? What? Okay. Oh, he's got it. All right. That's a C, folks. I can see that. Okay. Okay, I think we know what that one is. Yes! All right, Goldie, woo! I think we can all agree that that was CBS. Thank you, Goldie. That's what I'm talking about, right here. Thank you, Goldie. Woo! CBS? Okay, I think we all had a hunch. We all had a hunch that might be it, but thank you for coming up and letting us know. So, with that, let's get started with our program with a video from University President Joan Gable.
Hello, I'm University of Minnesota President Joan Gable, and I am so sorry I can't be with you in person this evening to celebrate the generous support of the donors in attendance, as well as the achievements of our wonderful students and alumni award recipients. As one of the few colleges dedicated to the biological sciences, CBS is uniquely positioned to lead innovation and advance research that expands our understanding of life at every scale. With each passing year and the advent of ever more powerful tools, research in the biological sciences yields stunning insights and points to new solutions to persistent problems. The importance of this discipline cannot be overstated in an era defined by health and environmental challenges with biological underpinnings. Researchers were able to develop new mRNA-based vaccines to counter COVID-19. Ecologists are developing tools to measure and monitor biodiversity at an unprecedented scale, pointing the way to new approaches to managing natural resources and combating climate change. These are just a few examples of how advances in the biological sciences are shaping our world. As an R1 institution, we not only advance knowledge across this critical discipline and find ways to apply it, we also prepare the next generation of problem solvers, including many in the room this evening. Students work alongside our field-shaping faculty to produce this new knowledge and become part of an ongoing project passed from scientist to scientist over generations. That shared commitment to the scientific enterprise is a core value of this community. Thank you to the generous supporters here tonight who understand how vitally important that work is and offer their resources to ensure that bright, ambitious students have the opportunity to realize their full potential. To the students in attendance, you are truly a source of hope for the future. Scholarships and fellowships are a vote of confidence from those who went before you. So please enjoy the evening, and I hope to see you in person soon. Thanks again.
Thank you, President Gable. Now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the Interim Dean of the College of Biological Sciences, Dr. David Greenstein. Please join me on stage. David is a longtime member of the college's faculty. He served as Associate Dean for Research for 4 years before stepping into his new role this summer. He started his academic career at Vanderbilt University School of Medicine and joined the College of Biological Sciences in 2006. A distinguished researcher, David studies germline development and reproduction. He received his PhD from Rockefeller University and went on to a postdoctoral position at Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard Medical School. Dean, the mic is yours. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement. The University of Minnesota Twin Cities is built within the traditional homelands of the Dakota people. It is important to acknowledge the peoples on whose land we live, learn, and work as we seek to improve and strengthen our relations with our tribal nations. It's wonderful to be here, meeting our scholarship and fellowship recipients, alumni, and donors. Hearing your stories has been truly inspiring. I am really impressed by the positive imprint the college has had on so many lives. It makes me all the more proud to be part of this community. I've taught and mentored many CBS undergraduates and graduate students, both in the laboratory and in the classroom. I'm stating the obvious here, but our students are wonderful. They are incredibly inquisitive, bright, hardworking, and engaged. Working them is a daily source of motivation and inspiration for me. We know students learn biology best by actually engaging with the scientific process. As we say, they learn biology by doing biology. As a self-confessed lab rat who still works in the laboratory, I also want to say that it's incredibly great fun. We make research a centerpiece of their coursework in CBS and encourage them to gain research experience. We are uniquely positioned as a college dedicated to the biological sciences, embedded within a top research university to provide opportunities for our students to have authentic research experiences. With that in mind, we continue to grow the Dean's Research Program, which provides paid research positions for our undergraduate students. We want every student who would like to participate in research to have the chance to do so, and paid positions ensure that financial need is not a barrier to participation and having this opportunity. And as our students gain this hands-on experience, they get to work with some of the most renowned researchers in the field. Just to underscore the point, the university was ranked first in the US for ecology and environment and 8th in biotechnology in the 2022 global rankings of academic subjects released by Shanghai Rankings. A recent Blue Ridge Institute report ranked the U 5th in biochemistry. You may have also heard that the U has broken into the top 25 of public universities in the United States. We're 23rd in the recent U.S. News and World Report rankings. This is a period of transition for CBS. It's also a time of growth. Demand for our programs remains strong. Our research revenue is among the highest in the university, which is no small feat given the highly competitive funding environment we're in. We also continue to attract world-class faculty members doing incredible work across the biological sciences, from global change biology to synthetic biology and everything in between. One way we are doing this is through the Presidential Postdoctoral Fellowship Program, which provides a pathway for promising postdocs from diverse backgrounds to join our faculty. Of course, as we grow in scope and size, we must also strive to grow in other important ways, including scholarship and fellowship support. Thanks to the generous donors here tonight, we are well on our way. Many of you have contributed to the record-breaking Great Science at a Grand Scale campaign, which concluded last year. Because of you, nearly 150 students are currently receiving four-year scholarships. That's incredible. I'd like to take a moment now to recognize some of those students here tonight who have benefited from that generosity. Recipients of four-year scholarships, please stand as you are able. Congratulations. Awesome, thank you. As we look at the year ahead, we hope to increase the amount of those scholarships and raise funds in support of undergraduate research. We also hope to raise funds for the CBS Transfer Student Scholarship Fund, intended for students who transfer into CBS primarily from local community colleges and state universities. Students who transfer to the college have a much shorter time to take advantage of the many opportunities to do research and get involved. They need to be able to hit the ground running right away. Transfer students also graduate at exceptionally high rates, so we want to make sure we are competitively attracting and recruiting transfer students by offering scholarships. Until recently, we had no scholarships specifically for incoming transfer students. As a result, these students often ended up working to support themselves. This fall, we awarded our first 10 transfer student scholarships. I'd like to recognize those students here tonight who received our first round of transfer student scholarships. Transfer student scholarship recipients, please stand as you are able. Congratulations. With that, we'd like to show you a brief video about the transfer student experience with some current and recent transfer students and what their experience looked like here in CBS.
The path to achieving your goals is not always a straight path.
I became a chef when I graduated from high school and started to become disenchanted with that.
I'm a first generation. My family, they came from Somalia. After graduating from high school, I went to Simba College.
I did my associate's degree at Normandale Community College, and then I came to the university to finish my bachelor's. Normandale was really great. I went in with a mission. I was paying for school. I had kids, and so it was my time.
When I took science classes, I felt very happy and engaged, and I was like, maybe science is the path for me.
I went to Anoka Ramsey Community College, and right away, my first class, I started doing really, really well.
Transfer students help bring a diversity of thought and experience to CBS that we don't always get from a traditional track.
When people come straight out of high school into the U of M, they know the lingo, they're more connected.
Just the transition from a community college to a university is difficult.
It was a lot to get used to.
We do have a course called Nature of Science and Research that is for transfer students that brings them together as a cohort. But it's really important for us to make sure that we're connecting our transfer students to our faculty, to our staff.
What next step is going to make this very difficult journey back into academia worth it? And the answer to that question was research for me.
I love being in the lab. I love doing hands-on work. My research right now is really fun. Our lab is trying to understand how cells sense and respond to mechanical forces.
I want to lead a lab, so I'm going to be getting a PhD, hopefully at the University of Minnesota.
I hope to become a physician scientist. For POCs, we need more women in STEM fields. So I became the person that I wanted to look up to.
CBS is making a really dedicated effort right now to find ways to financially support our transfer students, and that's really important to us. We need to be bringing people with as many different kinds of experiences together as possible because we all learn from each other.
Wow. So at one point, all CBS students were transfer students. We didn't admit. So let's, if our transfer students, Goldie came up to celebrate you. If our transfer students could stand up just one more time to see 68 of them, let's give them a big round of applause and welcome them. Welcome. Thank you. Good. All right, Goldie, do you got anything else that you want to say tonight or do tonight? Oh. Spin your head. Spin your head. Spin your head. Here he goes. Ah! Goldie! Woo! Thank you, Goldie. We love you too, Goldie. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. Way to go, Goldie. You can count on Goldie, that's for sure. He said he's always been here. He wasn't a transfer student, but he really appreciates the transfer students. So now it's time to recognize all of our amazing scholarship recipients. But before we do, though, I want to talk a little bit about them as a group. Based on a questionnaire we asked them as they registered for this evening, for their attendance for dinner tonight. So we know that you're all exceptional students who are driven to achieve. We also know you already have distinguished yourselves by scholarships and fellowships. And very likely you will continue to distinguish yourself in the future as well. But we learned some new things in this survey. We learned that a surprisingly high percentage of you actually love organic chemistry. That was a shocker. I loved it too. I shouldn't say that. But to be fair, many of you found organic chemistry challenging, as well as physics and biochemistry, physiology, and for at least one of you, history. That would be a challenge for me too. Many of you have careers in healthcare in your sights, including a surprising number of aspiring surgeons. Research, conservation, genetic engineering, and cat adoption, yes, cat adoption, are among your aspirations, bold aspirations, absolutely. Many said that their favorite thing about CBS was the sense of community, meeting like-minded peers, the nature of life, and the engaged and knowledgeable faculty. So it's all clear that you all really love science already. We had so many great responses to the "Who is your science hero?" question, ranging from Rosalind Franklin, Sir Magna Jakob, not to mention Charles Darwin, Linus Pauling, favorite of mine, Jennifer Doudna, and many others. For some of you, your science heroes were a little closer to home. High school and middle school teachers, dads, moms, siblings, and even a few CBS faculty as well. So terrific. So thank you for all of you for sharing a little bit about yourselves. We wish you all the best as you work towards achieving your goals. No doubt you'll encounter many more science heroes along the way, and you may even become one yourself. So let's take a moment to recognize these awesome scholars. So students, please stand as you're able. And as they slowly get up. So join me in congratulating these truly outstanding scholarship and fellowship recipients. Well done. Goldie's coming up to do it too. Woo! Excellent. We got a good round of applause from Goldie. Thank you for helping us celebrate these amazing students, Goldie. So please be seated. All right, so now it's my distinct pleasure to invite one of these remarkable students up to the stage, Ilila Yusuf. Ilila is a second-year student majoring in neuroscience, minoring in communication. She volunteers at mHealth Fairview and received the Robert L. Warts Scholarship. The Robert L. Warts Scholarship is a generous 4-year undergraduate award. It's our largest award of the kind. Robert L. Warts received his BS degree in pharmacy from the University of Minnesota in 1954. His niece, Jennifer Laplante, is here with us tonight from California. Jennifer, if you're out there, say hi. She established the scholarship using funds from her mother, Betty Laplante's estate, in order to fulfill her uncle's wish to support science students at the University of Minnesota. Please join me in welcoming Ilili. Thank you for coming up. Good luck.
Thank you for the introduction. It's an honor to be here this evening to share a bit about my experience as a CBS student and as a scholarship recipient. But first, I want to thank all the donors who are here. Your support means so much to me and all the students in this room today. I also want to congratulate all the fellow scholarship and fellowship recipients. It's taken a lot of effort and more than a little stress to get to this moment, so congratulations to each of you. Stress and pressure are something we all deal with on our educational journey, whether it's late nights studying for an exam, spending hours in the lab, or extra time volunteering. It's an incredible commitment of time and effort. For first-generation college students, there's also the stress of figuring out how it all works. As the first person in my immediate family to go to college, I know firsthand what that's like. I was lucky to have a support system to guide me through the application process and offer some insight about what to expect once I got to school. But I didn't have someone with that lived experience who could walk and talk me through what life might look like here at the University of Minnesota or at another institution. So I had to find my way. Looking to those around me in high school, I often heard that only the best of the best can make it into college. And beyond that, only the elite students would even be considered for scholarships and financial funding. I took that to heart. I took honors courses, I participated in student council, joined the National Honor Society, I volunteered at blood drives, I played multiple sports, I was involved in many different groups. Honestly, I could go on. And as I did all this, I also worked incredibly hard to get good grades and excel in courses in the hope that I could get into school and get some financial assistance. All this work also came with a lot of pressure. Pressure to do more, pressure to succeed, pressure to get certain grades, and pressure to constantly strive for the next thing. That work did pay off. I started getting acceptance letters, but I also started seeing the financial side of that equation and realized how much I needed to pay to get my degree. Do I go to an expensive college, a private school? Do I opt for a public school? How much will I have to borrow? And it's a lot to process for an 18-year-old. The thought of it all was overwhelming, but clarity arrived with my acceptance to CBS. After reviewing what CBS and the university had to offer, the answer was obvious. Receiving a 4-year scholarship freed me to pursue my goals without worrying about how to pay for my education, one less source of stress. This is top of mind for me since I'm hoping to go to medical school where I know I will likely need to take on debt in order to earn my MD. As a student, my scholarship gives me the gift of time. I can spend my time doing research or volunteering instead of working at a job. It's giving me the chance to explore opportunities I otherwise would not have, such as joining the Otomo Student Union and looking for a research position in a neuroscience lab, which I recently found. I truly feel like I'm getting paid to learn and grow as a person. Achieving goals isn't easy for any of us. We all have barriers to overcome and challenges to navigate, financial and otherwise. But knowing that there is a community of people around us who believe in our potential and is willing to support us makes it all worth it. Thank you to the incredible donors here tonight for your generosity. Your support will produce positive results in our lives and all those we are able to impact in the years to come. Thank you.
I am impressed. Thank you so very much, Ilili. CBS students are so very inspiring, and the generosity of many in this room tonight makes it possible to provide the support they need to realize their full potential while worrying a little less about making ends meet. Your passion for this college and its mission is evident in that support you provide for scholarships, fellowships, and so much more. So thank you so very much. We've also asked our donors a few questions before this event, including their advice to students here tonight. So just a little bit of that advice. Students, you are encouraged to keep learning and stay curious. Be bold and think big. Don't settle. Remain open to unexpected turns in life and the opportunities it presents to you. So with that, we would like to recognize the donors here tonight, because we clearly could not do what we're doing without you. So I am going to ask, I'm gonna read off our many donors. Please remain seated while I read your names. Gilbert Alstrad and Kay Taylor, Arthur and Charlotte Allen, John and Rebecca Anderson, Milton and Denai Andrews, Franklin Barnwell, Christina Bigelow, David Bernlohr, Robert Buck and Cheryl Quinn, Lawrence and Stephanie Callanan, Jeanette and Pat Cleary, Deanna Crows, John Curry, Mervyn D'Souza, Bruce Dumke and Kathy Berea, Bradley Dupre, Dawn Erlinson, Liz Ewell, Jerome Farman and Pat McGuire, John Friedel, Sandy Fuchs, Stuart Goldstein, David and Jennifer Greenstein, Carol Gross, Amy Grossbach and John O'Brien, Perry and Carol Hackett, Jonathan Hadler and Natalie Keynes, Julia Hadler, Susan Holmes, Forrest and Leah Isbell, Robert Iverson, Ross and Esther Johnson, Sally Jorgensen, Mary Keeman and Brian Randall, Peter Kennedy, David Kirkpatrick, Christina Kramer, Thomas and Mary Crick, Jennifer Laplante, Bonnie and John Leroy, David and Mary Lovelace, Pete McGee, Avinash Mantha and Caitlin Chrissy, Charles Marshke, David and Linda Mashwitz, Frank Mortari and Angela Panoskaltsis, Kian Wynn and Julie Warren, Gina Curum, Lori Parker, Haley Renner, Barbara Roach and Richard Carroll, Sandy Rosenberg and Jim Liston, Jared Rubenstein, Carl and Savi Samaro, Lolly Schiffman, Jonathan and Emily Schilling, Robert Sorensen, Kip Thacker and Kevin Riley, Seth Thompson, Heidi Thorson, Peter Tiffin and Jennifer Powers, Michael Travisano, Tim and Kelly Tripp, Mark and Christina Wilkie, Sue Wick, George Weibland, Donald Williams, and Claire Wilson. So please now stand as you are able so we can recognize you with a round of applause. Thank you so very much. Please be seated. Well, on to our keynote speaker tonight, and it's an honor for me to introduce our speaker, Kian Nguyen. Kian is a truly distinguished alum, and we are so honored that he agreed to join us tonight, both as a remarkable success story in his own right and as a funder of the Kian Nguyen and Julie Warren Scholarship, a 4-year scholarship that has been awarded to dozens of University of Minnesota College of Biological Sciences students and is still going strong. Before we ask Kian up here, let me tell you a little bit about him. He received his BS in genetics and cell biology from the University of Minnesota in 1990, followed by a master's degree in microbiology from Mankato State University. He holds a PhD in neuroscience from the University of Colorado at Boulder and an MBA from Columbia Business School. That's impressive, but as impressive as his educational accomplishments are, his business accomplishments are just as noteworthy. He's been a leader in the medical device and technology sector with an incredible track record of product innovation, market development, and commercialization. Kian has spent the past 2 decades leading global teams within the medical device and life sciences industries, from startups to Fortune 500 companies. Oops. Currently, Kian is CEO of Air Health, a respiratory digital health company that's empowering healthy living through affordable treatments, symptom tracking, and early detection of respiratory conditions. And on a more personal note, Kian and his wife, Julie, whom he met 30 years ago, have recently returned to Minnesota. And so we're hoping and we're so glad that you're back. Please join me in welcoming Kian Nguyen. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Reed. I would like to begin by extending my congratulations to all who are being honored tonight. As I've had a chance to talk to some of the students this evening, I have to let you know I'm so impressed by who you are and what you shared with me. I feel so good about our future because our future is right here. And this is an incredible group of scholars and scientists. We are here tonight to recognize achievement and celebrate success. It's also a night to acknowledge the generosity of so many donors. And as one of these donors, I've been asked to share my story with you, my own personal journey from refugee to scientist to business person. And I'm also going to offer some thoughts about the significance of the scholarship that I received and the scholarships that we, my wife and I, are sponsoring. And what those financial support, especially early in my academic journey, can mean for so many lives and careers. So some of you may know my story. I arrived in Minnesota in 1975 as a refugee of the Vietnam War to our new home in Rochester. My 3 younger sisters, my mom and I were hoping to find a new life. We did find it eventually, but it wasn't easy at the beginning. I watched my mom work at a nursing home taking care of residents. Then she would go back and clean the church that sponsored us. She had 4 young children to take care of, and we were on welfare and food stamps for those first few years. So life was pretty tough starting out. I never thought college was in the cards for me. I wasn't sure I could afford college. I had a high school counselor who saw my PSAT scores and encouraged me to consider a career in STEM, even though we didn't call it STEM back then. And then I was accepted, and I got a scholarship to attend University of Minnesota. And that changed everything for me. It was a chance for me to gain an education, and I ran with it. It wasn't a huge amount of money, but it opened doors for me. At the same time, I had jobs as a resident assistant to cover my housing costs on campus. I drove around St. Paul delivering newspaper, and I even washed dishes in a microbiology lab. I wanted to get an education. And more importantly, I wanted to get a better life, and I did. I graduated from the university, I went on to graduate school, and I eventually earned my MBA. And to start applying all those scientific principles that I learned into business and technologies that have gone on to make a difference in millions and millions of patients' lives. And I have to wonder if any of that would have been possible if I hadn't received that scholarship. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, but I'm also proud of what I've given back. So about 15 years ago, Julie and I established a scholarship here at CBS. And what's great about it is that we've already had more than 40 students receive our scholarship. And we hope to see many, many more students receive one in the years to come. What I would like to say to the students here tonight, all the scholarship recipients, is that these gifts come with a responsibility. I'm urging you to take full advantage of the opportunities that you've been given. Make sure that these funds are paying for something that will open many more doors for you. You've worked so hard to get here, to the university. And certainly you deserve this opportunity, but I've got to tell you, it's important to keep in mind that college isn't the end. It's just the beginning of your advanced education and the career that you're going to build. I know, just from talking to many of you tonight, that you're going to go and make the most of what you've been given, and you're going to go on to do some great things. And as you get ready for those amazing careers that lie ahead, I urge everyone here tonight to think about making a plan to give back. I never thought when I arrived here in 1975 that I would ever be able to give back as much as I have. But I'm sure by now I've given back 100 times what the value of that freshman scholarship that I received. So here you are tonight, sitting in the audience, hearing me talk about giving back, and you're at the very start of your lives and your college careers. Here's the challenge I would like to make to each and every one of you. Imagine a date in 2052. It's a long time from now, right? Where will you be in 30 years? And what will you be doing? It's my hope that you'll be at a gathering very much like this one, looking out into the audience of college freshmen, and you'll be talking about the scholarship that you established and the good that you've done in the world. It can happen. It happened to me, and it will happen to you. So here are the 3 things that I would ask you to remember this evening. Get the most out of your education while you're here, right now. Do some great things with the opportunities presented to you. And finally, give back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kian. Your story is truly inspiring. Each year, the college recognizes outstanding alumni with our Emerging Leader, Alumni Achievement, and Alumni Service Award. It's my honor to recognize our 2022 recipients. I'm really proud of these alumni awardees. These folks they really set an example of the impact that education and achievement can have to make the world a better place. So for our first recipient, I want to mention Dr. Forum Kamdar as the recipient of the CBS Alumni Achievement Award. Dr. Kamdar is an assistant professor of medicine at the University of Minnesota Medical School. After completing her undergraduate degree in CBS, she went on to pursue her medical degree here at the U of M and completed an advanced fellowship in cardiology at the Cleveland Clinic before coming back to the university. She has demonstrated excellence in research, teaching, and patient care. She has been recognized with the American Society of Clinical Investigation Young Physician Scientist Award and International Society of Heart and Lung Transplantation Early Career Registry Award. Dr. Kamdar co-founded the Neuromuscular Cardiomyopathy Clinic, which is one of a handful of clinics in the country that focuses on evaluating and treating patients with neuromuscular disorders for cardiovascular disease. Dr. Kamdar, please join me on the stage.
thank you to everyone, and I'm quite humbled and honored to be receiving this award. There's many faculty in this audience who have taught me in my time during CBS. You know, even starting from the first, the introductory biology course, which Dr. Anderson taught, I still remember that as a pivotal moment in my career. CBS provided me a foundation for the scientific investigation and inquiry that's benefited me throughout my career. And for that, I'm always grateful. The faculty have always encouraged me to dream big. And when I ran into a problem, a faculty would tell me, well, there's someone who's studying that, go find out. And so that's one of the things that I learned at CBS, even as an undergraduate student, is you could figure out a way to do things that no one else has done here at the university. And that's how, I've been able to combine two separate fields to develop something new to benefit patients here at the University of Minnesota. And so that's, for the students who are here, you have that opportunity too. And they're fantastic faculty, staff who will help you to get there. And so I'm very honored to receive this award, and I especially want to thank all the faculty, mentors within CBS and elsewhere in the cardiovascular division for these opportunities, and especially to thank my parents and my sister, who's also a CBS alumni, my husband, and my daughter, Mira, who's a future physician scientist, hopefully. So thank you again.
Congratulations, Dr. Kamdar. Ihab Makati is this year's Emerging Leader Award recipient. After completing his undergraduate degree in CBS, Ihab went on to complete a 3-year fellowship with the Environmental Protection Agency. While at the EPA, he led a project on health disparities and exposure to air pollution. Ihab attended law school at New York University with an emphasis on environmental justice. Since beginning his law career, he's gone on to work as a law clerk for the Civil Liberties Union Defense Center, interned at New York Lawyers for the Public Interest and the Legal Aid Society, and he currently works for a nonprofit organization that provides housing stability in New York City. Ihab, please join me on stage.
Thank you. It really was a surprise and honor to learn that I was being considered for this award. I want to thank my father, who's sitting over there, for always setting not just an intellectual, but a moral example for us. And I also want to thank Professor Emily Snellrud, who welcomed me as a 19-year-old boy into her lab and provided mentorship above and beyond what I ever expected as a student, while treating me with respect beyond what I would expect for a seasoned colleague. I was incredibly blessed to be a scholarship student through and through, never paying a cent for tuition in 4 years of undergrad education, and then 3 years of law school. I read the words of many evolutionary biologists while a student here, but none stuck with me more than those by Stephen Jay Gould, who said, "I'm somehow less interested in the weight and convolutions of Einstein's brain than in the near certainty that people of equal talent have lived and died in cotton fields and sweatshops." It's important to recognize that these scholarships and the expansion of them are necessary to expand progress beyond the narrow window that it often has been confined to historically. Progress must be paired with purpose. Our public research universities have made incredible strides in cancer research, but that impact is undermined in a world where many do not have access to the quality healthcare that's invented in these halls. CBS, through its history in crop modification, has a credible claim to doing more than any other institution in reducing global hunger. But when at our front door, our service workers pass out flyers saying they've skipped meals, that incredible legacy is undercut. So I encourage us all today to think about the ways that progress and purpose can be paired so that we can find and encourage more minds to bring us into the future. Thank you.
Congratulations, EHOP. Dr. Mohammed Yaqub is this year's recipient of the college's Alumni Service Award. While still a graduate student, Dr. Yaqub helped launch Market Science, a CBS outreach and community engagement program, and he continued on at the U leading outreach efforts at CFANS. In his current role as Scientific Outreach Manager at Sciline, he works with scientists to increase access to scientific evidence and to make ideas easily available and accessible to reporters and other communicators. Dr. Yaqub has demonstrated vision and leadership as a staunch advocate for public access to science. He served as a co-leader of the college's Alumni Anti-Racism Work Group and a strong advocate for diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. Dr. Yaqub, please join me on stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is an incredible honor to be recognized for this prestigious award from a college where I spent many a year. Life sure is funny. I remember when I was in 10th grade, thinking of like, oh, when I grow up, I was at Kennedy High School, not too far from here. I wanted to attend the University of Minnesota. But as an immigrant family, my parents had other plans for us, and such a large school was not in the works for me, which is fine. We moved away. I went to a smaller state school in Wisconsin. Life went on. And several years later, I ended up wanting to pursue a PhD, and it happened to be here at University of Minnesota. So I fulfilled that 10th grade boy's dream, and today I'm here representing him. And many others who have had to not come here in the direct path possible. My time at CBS was both amazing and terrifying at times. My advisor and others will certainly tell you that. I loved my experience at CBS, but there were many times when I procrastinated research because sometimes, as many of you know, research can be mundane and get boring. And so I procrastinated by doing a lot of science outreach and education, and I'm very thankful to my advisor, Dr. Peter Tiffin, to the College of Biological Sciences, really for providing the infrastructure and the opportunities that have led me in pursuing my career. And to being successful and continuing that trajectory of my career. So thank you very much to you and to everyone else.
Now I'd like to invite Dr. David Kirkpatrick, the head of the Department of Biology, Teaching and Learning, to the stage to present the Sarah L. Tillman Memorial Science Teacher Award. David.
Thank you, David. In addition to recognizing our donors and students, we think it's important to highlight the work of the science teachers who prepare our students to excel. Exceptional teachers make science accessible and interesting. They inspire students to continue their science education. In recognition of their hard work, preparing students to succeed, we honor a handful of science teachers each year. We ask our first-year students to nominate teachers who inspired them and helped them to achieve. At this dinner, we recognize the most distinguished among them with the Sarah L. Tillman Memorial Science Teacher Award. The award was named in honor of Sarah Tillman, a young, passionate, and enthusiastic science teacher who passed away unexpectedly in 2009. She had incredible mentors, including her dad, University of Minnesota Regents Professor David Tillman, and her mom, Kathy Tillman. Sarah grew up here in Minnesota and attended Carleton College. She taught at North High School in Minneapolis, then at Woodrow Wilson Public High School in Washington, D.C. She wanted to inspire students, and she did. Sarah will be forever missed, but this award helps us remember how important she was to science education, to her students, and to her family and friends. This year's recipient of the Sarah L. Tillman Memorial Science Teacher Award is Donna Drontel, a teacher at Hermantown High School. Donna, if you would please join me on stage. You can be proud of the way you have influenced and supported students through your work in the classroom. As your former student, Allie Spradow, said in their nomination, her teaching made me love science, as I could always sense she was truly passionate about the curriculum. She organized microbiology labs that were not only educational, but were also fun. They connected students, even in times of the pandemic when it seemed impossible. She happily showed her nerd side as she taught us how to pour agar plates, streak them, use lab equipment safely, and more. And this was only one of the classes of hers I took. I also took her CIS Anatomy and Physiology, where I fell in love with learning about the human body. She taught everything with a passion unlike any other science teacher I've had, and I could always tell she loved it. However, she wasn't just a good teacher in the classroom. She also cared about her students. We are deeply grateful for the work you and so many other talented, dedicated educators do to prepare students for the rigorous coursework in the College of Biological Sciences. Thank you. If you would like to say a few words.
Well, thank you. I'm very humbled by this award, and I just have to, I'm very appreciative of an Educator's Award. I feel I need to point out that both my parents' formal education ended after the 8th grade, so I accept this award on also behalf of them. And secondly, I want to thank, I got recognized for a lot of my labs I have done in my classes, and I did not do this alone. And I have to thank a lot of secondary, post-secondary educational universities. St. Scholastica and Princeton University used to have a molecular biology program for teachers where they actually would send us materials that we could do PCR and gel electrophoresis equipment, and then through grants we were able to get a lot of that equipment necessary for that. And then also the University of Minnesota, I have done your Driven to Discover programs, and they are excellent. It is, we have a pollinator garden that we go out and we practice scientific process all the time, every fall, and the binoculars that we use for the birding unit, and I'm just gonna talk shop a little bit here, but the Merlin app and the Sound ID is phenomenal for those of you who are beginning birders. Get out there and use it. But thank you very much.
And now Tripp will be joining us again.
Yeah, congratulations, Donna. It's tremendous the effort that goes on to bring these incredible scientists up to fruition and then out to affect the world just so beautifully. So thank you. Well done, Donna. And thank you, David, for turning over the mic. So it's now my distinct pleasure to invite Professor Emeritus John S. Anderson up to end the evening in the most CBS way possible. John truly needs no introduction. He's really beloved by generations of CBS students. He taught traditions at Nature of Life for many years. I think thousands of CBS students have learned the Rouser from John, and I personally am a super fan. He's amazing. So we're very pleased that he agreed to lead us again tonight in the song. John, come on up. All right. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, this kind of
sure. Thank you, Tim. Congratulations to our very deserving awardees who've been recognized tonight. Congratulations to all the scholarship awardees. Terrific work on your part. I wish you success as you pursue your goals through the College of Biological Sciences. I also want to extend thanks to all of the generous donors who've made these scholarships possible. Thank you. CBS students are introduced to the Minnesota Rouser and the alma mater, Hail Minnesota at Nature of Life. The Rouser is especially popular with our students. It has been one of the traditions of this university for over 100 years. It is an affirmation of being part of this remarkable community of scholars, past and present. To make this an even more fun event, I have recruited 4 students who are near my table to come forward and help me with the singing of the Rouser. So Hannah, Alex, Tori, and Grace, would you please come forward? Okay, terrific. Thank you for coming to give me moral support. And we have 5 instrumentalists from the University Marching Band who will accompany us. Will they please come forward? Go. Minnesota, hats off to thee, to thy colors true we shall ever be, firm and strong, united are we. Ra, 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 Yuskayuma, ra, 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 for the U of M. Minnesota, hats off to thee, to thy colors true we shall ever be, firm and strong, united are we. Ra, 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 for the U of M. M-I-N-N-E-S-O-T-A. Minnesota. Minnesota. Yay, Gophers!
Thank you. Thank you, volunteers. Thank you very much, John. Yes, the students get volunteered by John to come up and do that. So they're very brave to do that. And thank you to the marching band and Goldie, way to go. So we've made it to the end of the program, folks. And what a night it has been. Thank you all for your support of CBS and for all you do to improve the world and the people in it. We'd also like to recognize once again tonight's sponsors. Be the Match. Wave if you're out there, Be the Match. There. Good. PepsiCo. Wave if you're out there. There's PepsiCo over there. ACR Homes. It's hard to see. Takeda. There's our Takeda folks. Lifecore Biomedical. Very good. And Biotechny. Where's the Biotechny folks? Good to see Biotechny folks. All right. All right. Thank you all for your support for tonight's event, and thank you all for your generous support of these students. So a quick note here to end everything. We've really got to the point where you've been waiting for, and parking is free. Odd for the campus, but we do it. So there's a few details I've been instructed to tell you. When you exit the ramp, just insert your parking ticket at the kiosk at the exit. The exit machine will recognize you and as having entered the ramp under this event, the CBS Recognition and Appreciation Dinner. and the reservation will allow you to just leave. The gate should just open. If the gate doesn't open for some reason, press the help button. Let them know you attended the CBS Recognition and Appreciation Dinner. And believe me, I've had to do this before. They'll answer and they'll actually open the gate for you. So you can do that. So, and that'll work, I promise. Well, I shouldn't promise because I'm not at the other end of it. But anyway, all right. So thanks again for coming out tonight. I wish you all health and happiness as you leave. Thanks for coming. Safe travels. And I hope to see you all again soon. Congratulations to all of our students and a heartfelt thank you to our donors and friends. Good night, everyone, and be well. Thank you.